This is why it's so confusing and hard for people to get healthy. What I'm holding is an article which is entitled, What Happens to Your Liver When You Drink Diet Soda Regularly? And this, along with so many other articles that are out there on so many emails and so many blog posts and so many news sites that you see, is confusing people and giving out terrible information. Some of it can be good, but in regard to the summary of it, giving you terrible information that will just lead you to be confused and then maybe even justify your use of eating something bad or continuing down a certain lifestyle. So the article is written by James Meyer and Dennis Sifris, an MD. This says a medical doctor put his name on this. One, your gut bite. I'm just going to talk about some of this stuff, and then you'll see why what I'm saying is so terrible. Your gut microbiome may change. So they talk about how diet soda might influence your gut biome. Your insulin response might change because diet soda can cause insulin spikes, which then can lead to excess insulin, which can then lead to insulin resistance. Your appetite and calorie intake may increase from disrupted reward pathways and that insulin release. And the gut, like we talked about before, so some of the same stuff. And then here's the biggest thing. For your risk of basically non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, they've rechanged the name to metabolic, where does it say this? Metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease. Fatty liver disease, all right? Let's stop confusing people. MASLD. They couldn't shorten that one up? Anyways, your risk of MASLD may increase. Your risk of fatty liver disease may increase. Your risk of MASLD, fatty liver disease, may decrease. So number one, they can't even number their article correctly, so great job, editor. Number two, okay, you just tell me all this negative stuff about diet soda. Good, we're in the right direction, we're in the right ballpark, and they've got good information on here, talking about how, yes, it's diet, but yet it still influences your insulin. Yes, it's diet, but it still messes with your reward pathways and your gut. And you actually end up eating more food because you tend to eat more of the processed foods when you're having a diet soda with it. So good information, but then they give you this scapegoat again. Your risk of fatty liver disease, the whole article is about what happens to your liver, may decrease. And if I'm someone who's reading this article, I go, I'm done reading, I'm out. All that negative, gone. All those negative things, because it may. All I do is selection bias. What I want, all right, I'm gonna find, and I found the scapegoat. Can't even number your article correctly, and you're giving people a scapegoat. When you have all this other information, and then it says, well, because they are less in calories, it's better. Well, of course, it could be a better alternative, right? But when it still goes after the same things that a normal soda does, okay, the whole gist of this should have stopped at 4. You'd had that excess 4, all right, which should have been 5. You should have stopped there, because this is great information until you do. And this is what so many articles do. They do a great article talking about something, and then it says at the end, this may not necessarily be true. This is only correlated. This is not causation. They always leave some scapegoat at the end to talk about. They don't always. They oftentimes do this in articles. And if I'm reading that and I want to drink diet soda, I just found my way of drinking them, and having a medical doctor basically tell me that it's a better option because it may decrease my risk for fatty liver disease. They might, all right? But when you look at all this other information that we know is the case, We know that people who switch from a regular soda to diet soda, unless if they are doing the other things that go along with, if that's their only thing that they keep, okay? If they decide to switch from regular soda to diet soda, but they don't change anything, their health is not going to change. It's not going to improve. It's not that all of that other stuff that they're doing is going to influence them. And so I look at, especially things like diet soda, and I've known about the fact that it spikes your insulin, and I've known about the fact that it messes with your gut. But that stuff is going to be peppered into research like this that will give you, well, it doesn't necessarily always do that. It's not that bad. And this is a way, because I bet you a lot of these articles, which we know are funded by the very companies that are producing the diet sodas. They want the research even, this is just an article, but they want the research muddied. They want the articles muddied. They want as much information out there to confuse you. And the fitness industry is doing a great job of this, because you got some people out there telling you that there's no problem with some of these things. Processed foods, no problem. All right? All this stuff, no problem. And they're arguing with one another. Some people are like, you need to go vegan. Some people are like, you need to go carnivore. Some people are like, if you eat an avocado, all right, you're going to live to 150. And then other people are like, if you eat avocado, there's way too much fat and you're going to die before you're 50. So there's so much this back and forth inside the fitness industry itself. People who are all getting results, people who are creating health changes, are still arguing with one another. I'm getting results with my people, you're getting results with your people, but yet my results are better than your results. Even though they're the same results, just in a different way, they're reaching people in a different way. Instead, we're saying, no, those people are bad. So even if you're not part of the fitness industry, right? So you're outside of it, you're looking in and you're going, it's super confusing with all these articles and stuff like that. Then once you start to go into it, you're like, I'm outside, okay, I'm going to try something. You go into it and you go, which one's right? Muddying the waters. Does it increase your risk or does it decrease your risk? If I am someone who doesn't have the time, the interest, all right, the energy to be able to keep up with this stuff, how am I going to be able to siphon through all of this? Even, like I said, even if I'm someone in the fitness industry, someone with degrees, someone who spends their life doing this, can still be taken for a wild goose chase along with this stuff. I've been right there. I've followed so many different trends and so many different fad diets and this and that. And I've came now to understand something more simple. It's not that hard. We have a lot of other things going on outside of us that if we change, it would make it so easy for people to stay fit. It's real simple at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how you get there, okay, in regard to what diet you choose, you have to eat the right amount for you. And that really takes that much. And then activity, okay? And then don't get me started on that with the fitness industry. This workout's better, this workout, 5 sets of 5, 2 sets of 10, 3 sets of 10, all right, 1 set to failure, all this stuff. If I'm someone who doesn't know what to do and I don't understand any of it scientifically, I'm just gonna go back to eating potato chips and watching Netflix. And that's what most people do. Fitness industry is screwing it up. These articles are screwing it up. We need to simplify. We need an enema. All right. Oh, enemas they're not good for you. All right. Oh, you should use coffee in your enema. That's the only way. Oh no, you shouldn't do that because of that. It never ends. It never ends. I think we need to simplify this stuff. Okay. Get away from processed food. Hey, diet soda, is it processed? Yes. Is it natural? No. So it is a risk. Use at your own risk, but don't come around and tell me that it's healthy. Don't come around and tell me that, oh, we didn't know. We know. Processed foods, things that are further away from nature are bad for you. Doesn't mean that you can't have them, but it's going to increase your risk. Some people are going to be genetically much more averse to those things, so it makes it harder for them. Other people can get away with a lot more. Doesn't mean that they are healthy. So that's the thing. You want to get to as much nature as possible. We're not doing that through processed foods. It doesn't matter how you slice it. There's so much of that going on, so much confusion. I feel for you out there, but we as health professionals, I'm a personal trainer, I have a degree in exercise physiology. I should be out there helping people understand that it is a lot more simple than we like to make it out to be. And I see these articles and it breaks my heart, because if I was someone that didn't know the difference, I found my scapegoat. Like I said, I found my way to drink my diet soda and it's not going to affect me. When in reality, it is. And like the other parts of the article that are good, it's going to affect you in many different ways, multifaceted, not just one area, many areas. So anyways, that's it for today. We got to get better. I say stop reading the articles, get more into nature. You don't need to have a conversation about what's better for you, a cookie or a carrot. I don't think so. You're smarter than that. Everyone is. But yet now we're going, oh, carrots, they got too much sugar in them. All right, that's you can't have a carrot. Too much sugar. Shouldn't eat carbs. No carbs. All right. Nope. We're not doing that. What do I do? All right. What do I do? I'm going to go back to eating whatever it is that I know, because this unknown is too confusing and you guys can't even make up your mind. That's where the normal everyday person is, and I feel for them, and us as fitness professionals need to do a better job. People writing articles need to do a better job. People publishing these articles need to do a better job. And that's only going to happen if we get our heads on straight and think about the greater good. We're trying, some of us are trying. Let's see if we can get a little bit more momentum. This is why I post some of these things, to get some of my ideas out there, to share ideas and to hear other people's ideas. This is why I like YouTube. It's you and it's me, and that's it for today. See you next time.